All right, so here are some examples of how to do the problems that we learned about in the trapezoid and kite video. So let's talk about isosceles trapezoids again. Again, that's when two sides of the trapezoid are the same. The body of the guitar is a trapezoidal prism. The front face of the guitar is an isosceles trapezoid. AB is 3x minus 2, CD is 3x plus 9, AD is 4x plus 5, BC is 5x minus 6. So that is the information that they've given us. It is not a bad idea to label what we know, but I'm going to go to this slide because this is where our problem starts. So I'm going to go ahead and clear out this rocker lady just so that I can write in those values. All right, it says AB, which looks like it's the right side, is 3x minus 2. CD, which is the left side, is 3x plus 9. AD, the top, is 4x plus 5. BC, the bottom, is 5x minus 6. Our job is to find the value of x. So eventually we will need all this information, but currently this is overkill. We don't need all of this information until we have to find what each side is equal to. But for now, because they told us that this is an isosceles trapezoid, that means the two legs are the same. So the legs are the parts that are not parallel. I can see that DC and AB are parallel, so that must mean that these two legs are the same size. If they're the same size, we can set them equal to each other. 4x plus 5 is equal to 5x minus 6. Now I can solve for both sides. Here we go. 6 to both sides. And I find out that x is equal to 11. So it's important to know that the opposite sides of the opposite legs of an isosceles trapezoid are the same size so that we can build this equation. So I'm going to mark down that x was 11 just in case we need it for this slide, which I don't believe we do. But our next job is to find the angle measurement of A if C is 72. Well, again, C is, I'll clear this out a little so it's easier to see. C is 72. Because it's isosceles, that means D is also 72. So not only are these two base angles the same, but these two base angles are the same. But that being said, I don't know what they are, so I'm going to put, I already used the letter X. Let's use the letter Z. No, I don't like throwing Z's. Let's use A. I don't know what those angles are, but I know that they'll be the same. And then finally, the final touch is because it's a quadrilateral, I can plug it into this equation, n minus 2 times 180. This is what we learned in the very first lesson. 4 minus 2 is 2, and 2 times 180 is 360. I know that the four angles of a trapezoid add up to 360 degrees. So what that says is if I add 72, A and A, it should equal 360. So I go ahead and solve this one. And I get that angle A, which is what I was looking for, is 108 degrees. Make sure I did my math right. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we figured out that angle A is 108 degrees. We are leveraging the fact that quadrilaterals always add up to 360 degrees on the inside. All right, and then the last problem, and I know that angle A is 108 degrees. We figured out in part A that x was equal to 11. Last, they want us to find the perimeter of the front face in centimeters. Well, I can only assume that this thing is already in centimeters, but I figured out that x is equal to 11. So what I can do is I can plug it in to each of these four equations to figure out the length of all four sides. And after I plug it into all four of them, I can add them together to find the perimeter, because we add the sides together to calculate perimeter. So if I plug 11 into AB, 3 times x minus 2, I get 31. Actually, I guess let me write that out. 3 times 11 minus 2, which is 33 minus 2, which is 31. I can do the same for CD. 3 times 11 plus 9, 33 plus 9, which is 42. I can find BC. I guess AD comes next. AD is 4 times 11 plus 5, which is 44 plus 5, which is 49. And finally, DA or AD and BC should be the same length because it is isosceles, but I'll check my work by plugging it in. 5 times 11 minus 6, 55 minus 6, which is once again 49. Now I have my four side lengths. I just need to add them together to find a perimeter. So you can plug it into a calculator. 49 plus 49 is 98. 98 plus 31 is 129. And 129 plus 42 is 171. So all in all, I added all four together, and I got that the perimeter was 171 centimeters. Okay. Now, I know it's out of order from how I taught it, but here is a practice problem that you can try. If you deem, you can just pause the video on it and try it out if you want to. Ask me about it when you get back to class on Friday, and, well, you can check the answers if you are interested. Skip through that too fast, just in case you did want to pause on it. Here's part B. There's part C. Okay, now let's talk about midsegment. So, if we want to find the length of the midsegment, UR, for instance, in this case, we use the equation that we learned. And again, that says that you add the two bases of the trapezoid and then divide it by 2. So in this case, my first base is 11. My second base is 18. It's a pretty straightforward formula. I'm going to add 11 plus 18 and divide it by 2 if I am looking for the midsegment. 11 plus 18. Again, 11 comes from PQ. 18 comes from TS. Just like it says over here. And then we need to multiply it by 1/2. So we have 1/2. 11 plus 18 is 29. Half of 29 I get is 14.5, meaning that the midsegment is 14.5 units long. So that's how we can find the midsegment. Sometimes they will ask us to move backwards. In this problem, they gave us the midsegment and they're asking us to find the longer base. So that being said, I'm going to set up everything I know in my equation the same way, and then I'm going to go backwards and solve for x. So first I see Rn. Rn is 24. Equals 1/2. I'm going to copy that because that's just a number. Lm in green is what I seem to not know. That is where x is. So I'm going to plug in x plus QP, which is 16.7. So again, it's important to write out the equation first. The midsegment, Rn, is equal to half of your two bases added together. All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and start calculating. In order to get rid of this 1/2 up front, which is effectively dividing by 2, I'm going to start off by multiplying both sides by 2. What that gives me is 48. The 2 and the 1/2 cancel each other out, and I get x plus 16.7. You could also say you divide by 1/2, but that will do the exact same thing as multiplying by 2.
Mr. Foster, please stop at 090. Mr. Foster, please stop at 090.
Okay, then x is almost by itself. Our last step is to subtract 16.7 from both sides. And we get 31.3 is equal to x. Okay, we have solved for x. The problem says what is the value of x, and also x is up here, so we figured out that the longer segment is 31.3. So just a little bit of troubleshooting. If we would have gotten a different number, if we didn't get the right answer, for instance, we can always kind of check. ln is the longest side. If we would have gotten a number smaller than 24 or smaller than 16.7, we know for sure that we did something wrong and we should go back and check our work. So first off, be careful to set up your equation correctly and then solve carefully. Always, to get rid of the 1/2, you can multiply both sides by 2. All right. They'll also be asking you to find the mid segment on a trapezoid. So what that will look like is you'll have a coordinate plane and you'll have a trapezoid.